He is alive! Yours is conquered.
The empty tomb begins at the break of dawn, when the world was still quiet. They came searching for what they had lost, but what they expected to find was no longer there. The stone was rolled away, and the silence of the tomb held a mystery greater than grief. This was not the end. Something had changed forever.
He is not here.
The stone rolled away. As they drew closer, their steps slowed, their hearts uncertain. The stone, so heavy, so final, was no longer in place. The tomb stood open. Confusion turned to awe. Fear began to rise, because what was sealed had been opened. When God moves, even what seemed impossible is rolled away. The message of the angels. In their confusion and fear, a light broke through the silence. Two figures stood before them, radiant, calm, and filled with divine presence. Why do you seek the living among the dead? Their words carried power beyond understanding.
Why do you seek the living
He is
among the
not
dead?
here. He has risen. Fear turned to awe,
Why do
and
you
awe
seek the living
began to
among the dead?
awaken hope. What seemed
risen.
like an ending was the beginning of
Why do you
life.
seek the living among the dead? He is risen.
The risen Christ revealed. There he stood, alive. Not a memory, not a vision, but real. Peace filled the moment as he spoke gently, a presence that turned fear into joy. What was once lost now stood before them. Death had no hold. Life had the final word. Peace in the midst of fear. Behind closed doors, the disciples sat in fear, unsure of what would come next. Then suddenly, without warning, stood among them. No noise, no struggle, just his presence. And he said, "Peace be with you." Fear faded, hearts steadied, and hope returned. When he appears, fear loses its power. From fear to
He
joy.
is alive.
At first, they could hardly believe it. The one they had lost now
alive.
stood before them, alive. Hands
with his
once
conquer.
wounded, now a sign
He is
of
alive.
victory. Slowly, fear gave way
Yours
to
with his
joy.
conquer.
Doubt turned into
He is
wonder,
alive.
and in that moment, everything
Yours
changed.
with his conquer.
What seemed impossible became
is
their
alive.
living reality.
Yours is conquered.
Victory over death. As the sun rose and light filled the earth, hope stood alive once again. The tomb was empty, but the promise was fulfilled. Had overcome death. What was sealed could not hold him. What was lost had been restored. Death was defeated, and life had the final word.